Hi, I'm Jeffery Spakes, the artist. I'm also the guy that found um, the 28 pounds of the asteroid Vesta. You have no doubt heard about, seen, and studied with me. I did not come here to discuss that right now. I happen to be on this channel, and because I have so many issues with my inability to recall things, I just click on and create a video and do this. I make a video and I put it over to something and it goes online. The reason I do that is because I know it's documented and I know it's saved forever. And I know that my family, who I've lost contact with, my friends who I've lost contact with, um, and I have no ability to make that happen, um, other than I lack assistance. Some of us can't operate certain things. Now, I can drive a bulldozer, I can drive a loader, I can drive a vehicle, I can drive anything. But I've always had a learning disability. So I've dealt with that in life by being better at everything than anybody else. And I pick things that I'm really good at. And I don't have to show the fact that I can't read something and understand what I'm reading, but I can watch it, I can study it. In this case, this video is directly for a friend of mine who I've gotten to work with for many, many years and gotten to learn Spanish with and cultures. And this is the last person I would ever want to offend, but I offend everyone equally across the board. I do find it easier for me to make friends with foreign languages and foreign people because of my inability to speak normal English. Um, they forgive my bad Spanish and think that the way that I'm saying things isn't so bad until they don't get it. That's kind of where we've been at. And I want to make sure that that's rectified here. So I was talking to a friend of mine, Tony. Well, anyway, I'll get complicated because that's me. So I was sitting here writing a text that I wanted Tony to send over because I don't can't send text. And this is in relation to a note that I found in the office that I've been allowed to have as I create these other spaces. And I simply said, was asking my friend Tony, which this, if you understand, my friends, they're no more gifted than I am as far as this technology thing. And if I had the ability to explain to everybody what it was I would need, what I needed, I would be able to do it myself because it's that simple. And I can't explain it. I attempt to here. So here's some of my notes. And here they are in case you want to read them. Take a little, let me get, oh, here's the camera. This is my bad Spanish. And I discovered that if I write things out on these cubic um, graph paper, and I put one letter in each one, it helps me because I have disabilities. I've had multiple strokes. I've had a lot of trauma. I'm going through trauma right now. Absolutely right here online, and that's why I'm here in front of you with no teeth and looking all horrible and crazy and all that other stuff, is because, yeah, this is what it looks like. And if you're not a scientist, get one you know and have them watch my channel. You get to see mental illness in a way that is very unique. In the fact, I've studied it. I understand it. I agree. I have these disabilities. And by my explaining them to you, makes you believe I'm making them up or something. I don't know what I need to figure out how to talk to you, but I'm cocksure that I'm right. I feel a lot like the brain scientist Jill Bolte Taylor. She's a brain specialist in abnormal brains. And one morning she woke up and she was having a stroke. Horrible headache. I know what they feel like. They're terrible. And rather than pay attention to her scientific mind and go, this is not healthy. Hmm, I think I'll get on my treadmill or whatever the heck it was, or stair climber, and I'm just going to work this pounding headache off. Tough girl. There's amazing interviews between her and Oprah about her book, My Stroke of Insight. That book gave me the ability to walk again. That book explained to me about my strokes and about how I can repair my own brain. And I set about to prove that. And before, in 2010, I had this awful stroke that took out my leg, my left leg. It quit working. I got up off the ground, because that's where I slept that night at Boulder Canyons. And I stood up, and my leg was not there. My buddy Ronnie was, and he still is, but my leg did not work. And it didn't work for a long time after that. What I had was a thing called flop foot, droop foot. There's a scientific name for it. How do I know? The doctors, they analyzed me and everything else, told me I was paralyzed, and that most of the time it wouldn't come back, and all this blah blah blah. But I read this book from Jill Bolte Taylor called My Stroke of Insight, and she talked about neuroplasticity and how I could rewire my brain. So guess what I did? And I walked. And then I had another stroke that took away my ability to talk. So how do I got back my ability to use my leg by riding a bicycle for 3,000 miles, I think it was. And that's documented. So, okay, Dr. Jill, I got my leg back by riding a bicycle. How do I get my brain back? Oh, I have an idea. How about I make a boatload of videos and look at how I look and see what I can fix? So if I see my head going like this, I can fix maybe if I lift my head up. Or if I hear myself slurring my words or something like that. I could possibly get my ability to speak back. Dr. Jill, it worked. Absolutely worked like a charm. And I can prove that by the last 3 years of videos. Now, what you can't find online, what I couldn't manage to put in an order that you can find in an orderly fashion on my channel, post this or do that, I couldn't achieve that. But I made thousands and thousands of videos, and on this particular channel, you'll find 103 music videos. Well, I put in typing and things like that because the way that I spoke was so horrible. But I made some beautiful music videos. I posted my photographs, I posted my art, and I posted my story under multiple titles. Had I understood titles back then, I would have been able to do better and lead you there. But right now, there's 195 viewers I know that are going to get a notice of this. And thank you so much for viewing, watching, and please share. I'm a simple artist that lives by spirit and nature. And because I do live in nature, I find meteorites. Now, was I expecting to find anything like that this day? No, hell no. As a matter of fact, one of my Martian meteorites has been in my junk drawer for so long because I never bothered to see what it was worth or bothered through the emotions of trying to get it named and all that other stuff. That's a whole nother story, and that's why I created the channel Media Wrong. I'm not here for that. That's enough of that. This is why people can't listen to me for long. I came on here simply to say thank you. Um, I'm going to take off now and go run up to the store and get some dog food because some people I trusted came through. And in the hardest way possible, I'm doing cross-cultural things here, not just one culture. Oh my goodness, no. Uh-uh. I'm blessed with relationships between Colombians, between Guatemalans, between Hispanics, between Mexican Americans and Russians and Ukrainians. They're all here. Привет. So I wrote a little note to give to my friend Tony. Tony, I'm going to out you as a black man. And the reason I do that is simply because it's cross-cultural. But Tony and I don't see each other's any color. Oh my goodness. He covers me with food. I cover him with whatever. We cover each other because we're both on the lowest of the low. And we're looked at as just really not worthy of your time. And yet we are some of the most worthy people you've ever met. Man, Tony, you're going through some stuff. You're raising some children. Oh, in this time, that's really hard, especially in this time. How do I know? I had a group home. And then y'all got cell phones. That was a major expense in my group home was y'all are connected to those. But that was prior. You guys were almost pre-millennials. Do you want to call them preemies? I'd like to call it that. But you guys almost had it. But then the cell phone set in, and those babysitters you gave your children have come back to haunt you. So I'm making this video for one reason, and that is to if any of my Hispanic community is watching. Javier Estella. Muchas gracias para todo. Muchas gracias, Mimi. Tú hablarme un proyecto, yo terminaste muy rápido en la mañana. Gracias. No problema. Y oportunidad aquí es de tu corazón por mí, en mi corazón por tú. Y yo conozco, terminaste muy bueno para todo. Para tú, para tus niños, para tu familia, para y todo. Para mí, sí, sí, terminaste muy bueno. Yo conozco. Uno, otra, no importante por mí. Yo tengo todo. Muchas gracias. Mara menos. Tu edad es mucho importante por mí. Es no posible. Yo tengo oportunidad de hablar en línea. Y tú no ayudarme. Muchas gracias. Sí, es más fácil. For my American-speaking friends, I just told my friend thank you very much for the work that he gave me and for the pay that he gave me. And it helped me a lot. And for the chance to just have a safe place to be while I got my head together. Well, I didn't say that right here, but if I could, I would. Absolutely. Now, I know that my viewership is growing amongst all my channels. And one day, very soon, I'm going to access my other channels. Somehow I'm going to figure that out with or without help. Um, it's just really difficult because one day my brain works, the next day it doesn't. Every morning is difficult. Um, every night. Well, I'm not going to say it's lonely. I've got my DOG, but I feel like I should have done more because I haven't accomplished the task of simply bringing the truth and the light of science to the universe. And I believe I shouldn't have to work nearly as hard as I have. For instance, I'm sitting on a donut, um, caused because I was working for the owner of this property in the Bobcat, and I made a mistake and misstepped, and I fell back on. I missed the seat and I fell on my tailbone, full weight. I just sat right down on it onto a bar that runs across the front of this John Deere. As I was doing the work of, um, he calls himself Chingon. Once I learned the definition of that, I thought, well, I'm a Chingon. I'm a badass. But I was gaslit by this particular Chingon. Gaslighting is when you promise somebody pay if they'll do this, and then they do that, and then you say, oh, well, I can't get that to you right now, but if you'll do this, I promise I'll do that for you. And then you do that, and they say, oh, son of a gun, I didn't make it here, and so, but I promise I will. But could you do this for me? And then you're so hopeful and so needy that you go ahead and do that. And then when you get to that point, you're in a lot of pain or confusion, or you need something, or you just can't think straight. They say, well, no, I'm not going to pay you at all. I'm a chingon. You're this peon. Well, not all chingons look at video. Not all chingons look at the internet. Not all chingons have seen my portfolio. So I took this injury 10 days ago. I cracked my tailbone. I was hoping it was a bruise when it happened, but I know better because I've been in so much therapy for I don't know how many years over my back, and I know everything about the human spine. I've done physiotherapy. I've had 7 injections into my spine. So when I have a fracture, I know what that feels like, and I know how to tend to it. When I have a break, I know what that feels like, and I know how to tend to it. When I have a bruise, I know what that feels like, and that's what I hope I've done. Comprendeme todo? In this case, and this is a song for the Scumdog Millionaires, another one of my video channels, is that if you're going to ask someone to do your dirty work for you and they do it, and they injure themselves while doing it, and then you refuse to pay them, perhaps that's not a real smart thing to do, huh? So I'm going to call my friend Barry Rieger. Hey Barry, how you doing, buddy? I hurt myself while working for this Chingon on this property. Not only did I hurt myself, I broke my back. I disabled myself. All work stopped. Everything stopped and has been stopped for 10 days. Stopped so much that people are questioning my ability to even function, my ability, my worth as a person. So I simply asked this Chingon to pay me what's owed so I can take care of my business, put gas in my car, go get my Medi-Cal, and take care of my body and everything else. And for the third time, he refused to pay me. He refused to even give me the money back that I invested to cover up his fuck up. What was his fuck up? Well, they filled the dumpster to the top and it couldn't go on the truck, so they had to cut it open so they could drive the Bobcat, the very one I was in. I wasn't driving it at the time. And pull that shit out and put it over in this pile over here. And then they needed to sew it back together, weld it up, but the weld showed, and they asked a professional like me at finishes and make that disappear. I believe I made it disappear. They got the stuff out of the dumpster. They repaired the weld. I covered it up. Then I filled the dumpster halfway through. Then I broke my back. And then he came and couldn't be. Oh, I helped him park his $60,000. What was that? A Raptor that he just had wrapped? And then every other time I saw him, he ignored me. And then the last time I saw him in his golf hat and everything else, he says, "Hey, I need some money." And he bullied me. And he said, "What have you done?" Well, I was quite sick then. I was in a lot of pain and everything else, and in disbelief that you would ask me twice to work for you, do 2 other jobs, and then have the nerve to show me your wallet with 4 single dollars in it because you're broke. Yet you have how many body shops? Quite a few, as I recall. You drive the latest vehicles. I helped you unload a $60,000 Raptor. Brand new. You had it glamis once. I was doing your work when I broke my back. So now you get to meet my friend Barry Rieger. Hi, Barry. Oh, and associates. When I thought of my good friend that I unloaded the Raptor with, and I thought of my broken back and how I haven't been able to finish my dragon, I haven't been able to do anything. Maybe some of you have noticed that I actually recognized the fact that my back was broken and I needed to lay down and let it rest so it would heal. And that's what I've been doing. And it hurts like a son of a gun. I don't like not doing anything. But that's what's been going on. So here's my voice. And I think, as Penn and Teller would say, I think there's enough innuendo in there. And I think there's enough of you that understand me and know my history that if anything should occur between now and Barry Rieger, between now and Workman's Comp, between now and the meteorite, there's some foul play. Because all in all, I'm pretty healthy. Misunderstood, granted. Truth is not always easy for anyone to understand, it, nor is it for me. However, I've made a point to document my life, and it's all over this internet. You can find me under Spakes Art, Jeffery Spakes the artist, Meteor Wronged, Angry Artist, Dog Meteorites, Jess Spirit. I don't know how you find me. It was my good friend Ron Jensen that put me on here in the first place. And suddenly I noticed tonight that I had access to my old email addresses. So I actually backed off. And I'm going to run up to the store and get some dog food. Because through miracles, I have enough money to get Diogi some dog food. And I want to do that. He's my angel. and hopefully I'm yours. 'Cause I never meant to hurt anybody, but myself, apparently. But I'm in a predicament, a very strange one, and I've gone to all the services and attorneys and everything else. And people have made singular attempts to grasp this situation, but now this is a legal term, condemned by authority. To be condemned by authority is simply by having somebody in a suit standing next to you when you're dressed like me and them saying you're guilty and everybody believing them because that's the fashion of the day. Not by facts, by assumption. And there are lists of you, and I've made sure of it. And each and every one of you know it. And those are all the people that were connected to my life with my business partner, Bruce Oksania. I forget to use the word business. Then people misunderstand, especially in the Hispanic community, and they think that we were some kind of, banging each other. No, we didn't bang each other. Well, he screwed me by taking all my money, and I trusted him with my taxes, and I trusted him with all this stuff, and I trusted him with my life. So I guess he screwed me. When I say life partner, that's because I do not have a spouse because I don't trust anybody for good reason. Can you imagine? So we made a commitment to each other. All right, I'll give you my power of attorney, and then when I die, you make sure that all the shit that I need to happen happens. And if you die, I'll make sure all the shit that you need to happen happens. I got your back. And I'll clean out your porno closet before your family comes in. That's the agreement we had. Too honest for you? Where do you get a load of the next chapter? I'm Jeffery Spakes, the artist. I grew up on this planet, and I did a hell of a good job, and I was taken advantage of by many of you. And you know who you are. Were you the mother that dropped off your kids at my house? Do you know what it costs to feed them? And you went off and bought yellow boots. I have a lot more control now than to start saying names. Because I don't need your lawsuit to make me famous. I got my own. Before I was trying to egg you on to a lawsuit. I have plenty of my own. So I'm going to limp my little ass to that car. TOG's house. And I'm going to post a hell of a lot more videos. You can bet on that. I've got today and tomorrow. Before the Chingon. I don't know if they're going to see this because the Hispanic community doesn't pay attention to the internet. They don't know what YouTube is. They don't even have it loaded on their phones. They're afraid of it, but yet they'll do TikTok, which is a Chinese spy company. 85 million Americans subscribe to TikTok. If you're a TikTok subscriber, the best thing I can advise you right now is you are a Chinese spy and delete that shit from your stuff. But you can't because it's TikTok. They own you. They've recorded every transaction you've ever done. They know every bank code you've ever done. They know every password you've ever done. And if you read the fine print, what you signed up for, you will see that you gave a government all of your information. They list it right there. We will transfer any of this information directly to a government who requests it. That spy balloon is because of you. Delete your TikTok. Are you American or Chinese? Oh, controversial. You ain't seen nothing yet. One lesson at a time. When will you ever learn?